Hey Mo family, how are you doing? Oh my goodness, it's yet another day. Well, today we're heading out. I want to go shopping and I'm scared. Hey, me when I'm going shopping these days, I'm actually nervous. The way things have become so expensive, it's unbelievable. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is African Queen and this is my Queen team. So happy to see you guys. I've tried to vlog, routinely and consistently, but it's not that easy, and I've got 1,000 things going on at the same time, like all of us do. We're all busy, and then at the same time I'm spending a lot of time overthinking. Is anyone overthinking like me? Yeah, so let's get going. How are you guys coping with the season? We're in a very crazy season right now. I hope that you're being strong. The microphone, didn't I leave it? I think, this, there's like an age that comes, you forget things. It's just madness. Okay. I think I'm catching the disease of my brother. My brother loves... Whoa. We're going to hit something. There's a flower pot on the floor right by the whatever, the pillar. Right by the pillar. I think I'm catching my brother's disease of avocados. He's into this keto diet, He's a keto man and he's disappearing right in front of my face. The guy has lost so much weight. I'm like, my goodness. I think maybe I should join this keto diet. But it's something to do with ketosis. Apparently this diet causes ketosis, which is the burning of fat in your body. If you don't have enough carbohydrates in your body, all of a sudden your body starts to burn fat, which is not a bad idea. But really it's nothing like anything new, because I know the nomads have been using this diet for a long time. Yeah. So the purpose of me coming to talk to you guys today is just to talk about the cost of living. And I'm not going to stop talking about it because it's an issue. It's a huge issue, a huge one. I've been doing my research. I discovered that this country of ours called Kenya, and the Africa region generally, is short of dollars. It's a fact. I don't know why they don't want to tell us. It's only very, very few people who are admitting it. But it is true. We are short on dollars. And, because there's a lot of people are, normally in situations such as this, a lot of people are putting their dollars away. They're converting their cash into dollars. The currency is so unstable right now, so a lot of people there's a huge demand for dollars. It's very hard to get them in the market. In fact, there's a company that even closed. It's raining a lot, guys, a lot. I should show you. Raining a lot, guys. Really raining. It's very wet in Mombasa compared to Nairobi. Here in Nairobi there's no rain. Well, here it's completely the opposite. Okay guys, well, I've reached what I was telling you about, Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement. What it means is that we are supposed to actually be having free movement of persons and goods. Yeah. So I'll tell you a bit more about it, but basically what it means is that it came into force on 30th of May 2019. Yeah. And then 43 countries out of like 54, I think, so far have ratified it. I'm not 100% sure, though that's the detail that I have from 2019. But generally, I do know that some have signed, some have ratified. So, once you ratify, then you're supposed to sign. Ratifying means like agreeing, and then signing means now committing, and even committing funds to it, But basically, why is that important for us? It's important because as Africans, we need to feel like we are part of a continent and not so much only part of a country. We are not limited as humans. Back in the day of our great grandfathers, they used to travel a lot. And the reason why they migrated from point to point is when there was famine here, they would move, just like birds. Yeah, you move to where there is. It's normal, okay, for places to lack. And it's a cycle. Nature is cyclical. So we expect sometimes that we'll have drought conditions and therefore we'd have to migrate and move. It's quite normal because of greed, corporate greed. People realized that they could actually make money out of forcing us to eat only certain types of crops. We are eating 3.9 million metric tons of maize meal a year. Are we bad? In a year, that's a lot of maize. It means everybody's eating, maize meal. And that wasn't the case before. That's because of the encouragement of monoculture. Yeah, that we don't have a diversity of diets anymore. Now we're all trying to eat the same thing. In the US, I believe, in some other countries, it's bread. People eat a lot of wheat products. Yeah. So what is happening is like in Kenya, where we have normally we produce normally about 98%, almost 100% of our maize meal. But the problem is we've run into a shortfall because of many reasons. One of them is drought conditions. The other one is the fact that we had these lockdowns, that impacted on people's ability to go on farm and to harvest. It's a fact, and we also had the problem of businesses going down, so people could not even afford. We export a lot. We were exporting a lot in the region also. So basically Kenya imports about seven. The majority of the maize meal that is being imported in the region is Kenya. Kenya is the one that imports the most. We in Kenya, we're importing the most. So for example, if the whole region of Africa, let's say Eastern Africa, is producing 3.5 million metric tons of maize, we in Kenya are importing 700,000 tons of that. That's a bit crazy, guys. Come on, we need to diversify our diets because places like Uganda, they eat a lot of bananas. If you go to Tanzania, they eat a lot of rice. Yeah, so why is it that we are just monoculturing and eating just one type of food? We need to eat many different types of food like the Ugandans. And you can see that Ugandans are very strong people because they really eat different foods. So anyway, this is not a lecture about that. It's just to talk about the reason why we are going into this really serious problem. Right now I've come shopping, so let me go do my shopping and then come back and tell you my horror story. Alright guys, I'm back from my shopping. Wow, what an experience. I actually survived the supermarket. Yay! So we were just talking about the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement. So what that means is that, hey, we're supposed to have free movement of persons. This thing was entered into, I think, in 2019, and then it came, it became like, it was implemented around 2021 and 2020. I think it was 2021, yeah, last year. January is when, everything started picking up because of COVID. COVID really impacted everyone, all the lockdowns and everything. So the Africa Free Trade Agreement was kind of delayed. But really what it means is that it gives people free movement, within Africa without visas. Okay, like a borderless Africa, which would be so fabulous because it's kind of what they have in Europe, which is so nice to be able to move between countries and to get to know people, not to hear about them, to actually get to know them. You get to know the people of Tanzania, not to just hear about them from the media or from the third hand. Go and see the continent. Like I was saying, we are not actually supposed to be just in one place. Migration should not be looked at as an unusual event. It's a very usual event. And this is something that birds do. Birds are wired to migrate, just like we are wired to migrate. So the idea of saying that, no, no, all these people of certain race go and stay in one side and all these other race stay on one side, no, that's not right. This whole world is for everybody and we should be free to move about and, to explore because it's just in us. It's just in us. We are wired that way. So, what more, especially now, when we have the situation with the current economic standstill, I could say, the political issues that we're seeing going on, etc. So, the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement means that we can produce goods in one part of Africa and sell them on the other side of Africa. Easily we can trade with each other. We can trade goods. We can trade services. We can trade skills. We can trade, even we can intermarry. We can meet each other, we can learn from each other and trade recipes. There's so many things that we can learn from each other within Africa, which is kind of something that we have really lost. And I'm looking forward, I'm sure the next generations, hopefully, after we get through all this phase, one day when everything, calms down and goes back to a good world, because I believe we're going to get to a good world. By the way, we heard about the Great Depressions of the 40s. They probably thought that was the end of the world then, but we enjoyed the 80s and the 70s and the 60s and, oh, I'm back, right? 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s were kind of enjoyable. It's only this period, anything with a double digit is an issue right now, yeah? But I'm sure things will calm down. So young people, don't give up hope, okay? Just keep on working and know maybe this is your time to suffer right now. And in your suffering, you never know, maybe you're being brandished like iron, So when you smelt iron, it becomes sharper and it becomes, finer. You're being refined, okay, through the pain that you're going through right now. But in the end, you're going to be very effective, I believe. So anyway, let me tell you now, you guys, yeah? What's happening in the world right now, and I'm all over the place as usual. This is how I talk. It's crazy. Oh my God. You know, okay, let me for once just stick to one topic. Okay. So basically, what's happening is that in Kenya, we are importing a lot of maize. Okay. Too much and too much wheat. Way too much wheat and too much maize. Meanwhile, we're also importing a lot of oil. And this is too expensive for us. Meanwhile, we're supposed to be using gas. I know the government told us to stop using, stop cutting trees and stop using charcoal. So we were encouraged to use gas. And now look, we can't even get gas from Ukraine. And yet, we have gas reserves right here in Africa. I don't know why we have to rely on Ukraine. Yeah, but it's because they don't want us to actually burn the coal. They don't want us actually to mine the coal and burn it because of the green energy. Okay, the climate politics and the green energy issue. But it's weird because now they want the same coal that they're telling us not to burn for ourselves. Which anyway, I agree to some extent that we should not be burning coal as far as possible. It's not really that now you're moving from using gas to using burning coal and spoiling your air quality, But the idea is that we need to find energy, clean sources of energy to use, okay, which are not going to impact on our health. Our grandmothers really suffered in those smoldering kitchens that they used to have. We don't want to go back to that. So really, I'm all with the West in terms of trying to help us all get into clean energy. But on the other hand, what we don't want is monopolies. We want many different countries producing clean energy and being sources of gas and coal reserves. I think many people have learned this now. Yeah. So what has happened now is that the farmers basically are wondering what to do. Like they're very angry about the fact that we are importing maize from other countries, and we have to import maize from other countries. The farmers are blaming many things. They're blaming the weather. The weather has really changed. We've had drought for like about 2 years so far. And then the other thing is that some countries, such as Uganda and Tanzania and some other countries, are selling to the highest bidder. So they're selling maize to like South Sudan and other countries like Botswana, people who are going to be willing to pay, premium monies for the maize, for maize meal. But unfortunately, we just have to, Kenyans are saying that we want our piece of the pie as well. Kenyans, we have a sense of entitlement to all the grain around because we're the biggest buyers. We're like, we're your biggest buyers of grain in this whole region. So, hey, you know what? We need to be first. We're not going to be last. We want to be first. So we're trying to see how to negotiate with different countries so that Kenyans have enough ugali. Now, what I want to do is discourage you guys from eating too much ugali also, because we need to diversify our diet. Processed maize flour has a very high glycemic index. It makes your blood sugar like shoot up, and it's very possible for you to get diabetes if you're not careful. So it's good at least, to change and to add other types of foods such as the slow releasing carbs. And I always tell you about that. Those people who are not eating carbs, okay, that's up to you, but I don't buy into that. Okay. I believe that we all need the carbs because, on the other hand, they are there for a reason and they are man's oldest food. Yeah, you're not going to make me not eat roots. No way. Those roots are very important. They also have many minerals. Yeah. So, to satisfy all of your dependency on ugali, okay, Kenya has decided to waive all import duty on maize so that we can import the deficit, which is approximately 514,000 metric tons of maize. That's a lot of maize, guys, So they have opened that duty free window between May and August 6th. And hopefully they're going to satisfy their requirement. A 90-kilo bag of maize was going for 2,800 shillings. And now it's going for almost double that, right? Something like 4,500 or more. Meanwhile, our Kenya shilling has depreciated significantly, right? And that is impacting right now on the availability of forex. So even if people want to import maize, they probably are going to have a really hard time because they can't get the forex to import the maize. Where are they going to import all this additional maize from? Well, South Africa apparently produces about the 3.5 million metric tons of maize meal that is necessary or can feed the whole region. But yeah, and like I said, Kenya purchases about 700,000 metric tons of that, which means that Kenya is the highest purchaser of maize meal in the region. But then the problem is that South African maize is mostly GMO, and 70% of it, if not more, about 78% of it is yellow corn, which is something that we don't like and is usually used for animal feed. And then the difference is what is now used, the 22% is now white maize meal. And that's also GMO. So I saw that Kenya allowed the importation of GMO maize for maize meal for animal feed. But that doesn't really make any sense, right? Because if the animals are going to eat GMO, what does that mean for us? Hey, we're going to eat the animal, or we're going to drink the milk. If it's for example, cows, they're going to eat that. If it's chickens, the chickens have eaten the GMO. The GMO is in the ground. It's just going to impact us one way or the other. Yeah. So, fact is that it's almost like we just can't run away from this GMO business unless we can improve on our souls a little bit better and stop this monoculture business. Start integrating different types of crops into our gardens. Now, like Kenya, for example, has been cushioning Kenyans from the high prices of petrol, electricity, and animal feeds. Unfortunately, that has to come to an end because the government is running out of money, literally. You know, I saw this politician, what is his name, Mr. Mudavadi, say, and you'll see it there. Mr. Mudavadi said that we should stop kidding each other. Kenya is broke. Yeah, that's a fact. By the way, we all know that our countries are broke. We don't want to go the Sri Lankan way. We want to try and be honest with ourselves and see how we can mitigate against the problems that we have right now. So when the finance bill was read, I believe in June, Kenyans were really hoping, or was it May or June? They were really hoping for some sort of reprieve. But unfortunately, all those subsidies were lifted. And in fact, they introduced taxes on drinking water, guys. Tax on drinking water and jewelry. Oh my God. So now we have taxes on jewelry, drinking water, and juice and beauty products. So that's the end of my foundation. My goodness, that's unbelievable, really. God. So those of us who are trying to import beauty things, anything to do with beauty, that includes soap. And that probably even includes, yeah, soaps and oils and, makeups and makeups. Makeup. I laugh when people talk about makeup, so I'm saying it. Yeah. So there we go. Those are the kinds of things that are going on, guys. So, guys, I want you to know that it's not just Kenya that is food insecure at the moment. We even have rich countries like Germany that are food insecure. They are saying that 35% of the German population currently is food insecure. Can you imagine that? Germany is one of the richest countries and it's food insecure. And you saw that one of the longest pipelines from Russia to Germany actually is under repair, quote unquote. Yeah. All that means is that the gas is not going to go to Germany. And I just worry for them over the winter. They can have some really brutal climate. I just worry. And not just for keeping warm, but even for industry. So, anyway, I don't want to go too long into this. It's just to say that many countries are food insecure. By the way, one of the things you need to know about food insecurity is sometimes food insecurity is used as a war tactic. In fact, it has a name. It's called starving the citizens. Starving citizens, guys, is an ancient war tactic, right? It has been used in Ukraine, it has been used in Yemen, and it has been used in Tigray. And Adolf Hitler, that nasty man, also used it on 4.2 million Jews. All right, guys? Also, it's been used in Cambodia. Yeah. At some point, even the US used it in Japan, and they called it Operation Starvation. Look it up. Operation Starvation, used by the US. 1977 in Cambodia, Pol Pot, okay? They used mass starvation as a tool, as a weapon. The UK also used mass relocation of the Malaya in the 1950s. Okay? So, guys, starvation of citizens remains a permissible strategy in war. Can you believe it, guys? Yeah? Because the US and the UK refused to sign the Geneva Convention against use of mass starvation. So this is something that also been used in Nigeria with the Biafra War, Bangladesh. It has also been used in many countries. So in Ethiopia, it's been used in Tigray. So guys, this thing is very serious. When you look and see that people are starving, don't think that it's not a thought of strategy. It can be used. It's not illegal to starve people in terms of war. So it's our responsibility as citizens of all countries in the world, including Africa, Europe, America, to ensure nobody starves. I can see in the US, for example, people are doing a lot of food prep for themselves. But are you thinking about other people, guys? Yeah? Be ready to share. As you're prepping for yourselves and your family, remember that there's some services that you would need from other people. Don't be greedy and keep everything to yourself. Remember that there'll be people coming to your door who have not prepped or didn't have the money to prep or didn't even have the thought to prep like you did. So think about how we are going to share. Everybody has to share. You're going to have to share to survive. Okay, somebody might have a skill. Yeah, somebody might have some skill or some abilities that you don't have. Somebody might even have time that you don't have to help you to do something that you need to do. So, guys, it's not about looking after just yourself. Yes, it's important to look after your nuclear family first. It's only as a group that we're going to survive, not as individuals. We're talking about agriculture and the fact that we have the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement that allows free movement of people. It means that we have to look into the free movement of goods within our continent. And meanwhile, we're coming into agreements to allow countries such as the UK to trade, for example, with Kenya without taxes, without having to pay taxes for 25 years. Guys, I saw in the news that Kenya and the UK entered into a trade deal where the UK and Kenya can import certain goods, completely duty free for 25 years. Think about it, 25 years. Yeah? And meanwhile, I also saw recently in the news that Kenya, Uganda, and I don't know which country, are introducing tariffs, introduced a tax of 35% for any finished goods coming in from outside of the East African community. So, guys, this is very serious. This is actually a very serious thing. I just don't know what we're going to do, because how could we be introducing taxes for bringing food in from the Congo, and then we're allowing free movement of goods between Kenya and the UK? Does that even make any sense? Oh, has the UK also become a member of the East African community? Come on, guys, think about it. We need to question all of these things that are going on right now, and there's a lot. There's a lot going on. So let's just be prepared. Be aware that you have these rights. Be aware that we need to actually prepare. Be aware that we need to diversify our diets. So what is the moral of the story? Why am I telling you all of these things, guys? Number one, the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement allows free movement of persons within Africa, Africans within Africa, and free movement of goods. Let's pressure our leaders to allow that to happen, especially now. We need to take advantage of all the resources that are available within Africa to survive this period. That's number one. The second thing is that we should diversify our diet beyond maize and wheat and be eating some of our traditional roots and vegetables. Why? It's good for the soil, it's also good for our bodies. Okay, that's number two. Number three, be wary about the use of mass starvation as a weapon, okay, and weaponization of food. We have to look into that and make sure that that doesn't happen. Number four, preparation. Don't just prepare for yourself. We cannot just prepare for ourselves, guys. We have to prepare for the community, because we need to live within a community. And it's also part of our mental health. This idea of isolation, getting up and leaving and going away to live all by yourself with your little community, with your little family, very far away from everybody, that won't work in your favor. We need each other, because the world is like a big ocean. If you're all alone in one little corner of the ocean by yourself, you most likely will not survive. But if you're at least in a massive group, there will be some thoughts, there will be many brains there that can help you to think of what to do. Okay? And then the other thing is to look into the trade agreements that we have signed. Yeah, to see to what extent they actually help us or they harm us. For example, the East African community, 35% tax for finished goods that are coming from outside of the East African community, and meanwhile creating double standards and allowing countries that are completely outside of Africa to benefit from free trade with us. I think we need to think about those things, and I think I've summarized it as best as possible. So I hope you guys have a good day. Try to keep positive. Always keep positive, like my grandmother always said. Kirege gyaku ni gyaku. What is yours is yours. Okay, and it will never be taken away. So don't worry. What has been earmarked with your name on it, from where you were created, still yours, and it will always be yours, unless you yourself decide to let it go, because you're not in a mental state or an emotional state to take advantage of it. So protect this and protect this. All right, guys. So love you very much. Take care, and talk to you in a few days. In fact, I'm going to try my best to vlog a little bit more often, isn't it? I think it's better. It's only that I think I've also not had a very good state of mind. I've been thinking a lot. There's so many things going through my head. As you can see, I've got a lot of information. I feel like a computer that needs to be cleaned. I need cleaning. I probably have a couple of viruses in there, just because I'm overloaded. I have a lot of information. So I need to download some of my information and reload and put it into files. That's really what's happening. So love you. I hope you guys are doing okay. Please look after yourselves. You're my queen team, and you're also my visitor, and you're my valued guest. Thank you so much. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share my videos. We're hoping we're going to get to 1,000 subscribers at some point. But in the meantime, what I'm concerned about is ensuring that you learn a lot from me, and I learn a lot from you. So please remember to add your comments there. I want to hear what you think about the whole issue of our food, the food supply, food security, weaponization of food, the whole issue of GMOs and maize. This stuff is so interesting. Okay, guys. Love you. Bye.